Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And there's been a lot of questions being raised around the new immigration policy going, to take effect from the 22nd of July 2025. For my previous videos, I've had loads of questions around some important points that I think is important to kind of explain and, provide as much evidence from gov.uk on the appropriate answers to some of those questions. And this major question has always been around, what happens when you want to switch visa, what happens if you want to get a new COS from the 22nd of July 2025, and all of those interesting questions. Now, one of the questions I got from one of my past videos was that, hey, what if I'm in the UK already and want to switch from my current employer to a new employer? Will I be classified under the old salary threshold requirement as someone owed a visa under the health and social care visa? Now, based on the information on gov.uk, it categorically states that if you're already on a visa, if you're already sponsored, or you've been issued a COS before the start date of the new policy, you wouldn't necessarily need to meet the requirement on the new policy. So for example, if you get a COS, let's say on the 1st of July 2025, and you're applying for your skilled worker visa, let's say on the 30th of July. Now, the requirement for approving your visa would be based on the current policy, not the new policy that will be starting on the 22nd of July 2025. Now, the same applies to those who are applying for renewal, visa renewal. Probably you've been on a visa for let's say since 2023, for example. But when you're renewing your visa, the requirements that your visa application will be mapped to would be the requirements that was in existence when you apply for your first visa. So yeah, it's going forward basically. So this new policy would only impact those who will be applying for visa after those who will be getting their COS issued after 22nd of July 2025. So meaning if you earn 32,000 when you got your visa in 2023, by the time you're renewing your visa in 2026, your visa will be renewed based on the 32,000 you were earning when you got the visa, not based on the £41,700. That is the new salary threshold requirement. I hope that makes sense and answers your question. Now, that question I got here is, my question is, someone studying BSc in health and social care, which is equivalent to band 6, what will you advise the person? Although the school will finish next year March, what advice will you give the person? Now, what I would say basically is that you're protected in a way. So I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Now, if you get a job as a band 6 within the NHS, let's say you got a job as a band 6 outside London, for example, it means that your salary will be around £38,000. And because you're a new graduate, because you graduated from one of the UK universities in the last 2 years, it means that you're eligible to what is called the new entrant rule, which, based on the new policy starting on the 22nd of July 2025, the policy states that if you are going to leverage on the new entrant rule, you must be paid at least £33,400 for you to be eligible for the new entrant rule. So, say for example, you graduate next year March, that's March 2026, and you got a job as a band 6. What that means basically is that if you earn £38,700, you can apply for the skilled worker visa. You're eligible for the skilled worker visa under the new entrant rule, if that makes sense. So although the salary doesn't meet the 41,700, but because you're a recent graduate, you can leverage on that to applying for a band 6 with visa sponsorship. How that makes sense. So even when the band 6 salary was 37,000 a couple of weeks ago, people got sponsored. Personally, I know 4 people who got sponsored on the band 6 level rule, leveraging on the new entrant rule, emphasis on the new entrant rule. Now, another question I got here is, how much does an NHS staff in band 3 needs to earn before being sponsored for code 6131 sponsorship from July 22, 2025. Now, based on the new policy for healthcare workers, the policy now is that you must earn at least £25,000 for you to get sponsored as an healthcare worker. So what this means basically is, if you are on a band 3, you might have to work for 2 years and get to the middle, pay scale for the band 3 before you can get sponsored as an healthcare worker, if that makes sense. So because the start salary with band 3 is about 24,000, if I'm not mistaken, which doesn't meet the 25,000 new threshold for the healthcare worker. So you might need to work 2 years first, and then get to the middle scale of the the salary threshold for the band 3 before you can think of getting sponsored. However, if you get a job as that's for the nurse for the care assistant with 6131. However, if you still want to get sponsored on the band 3, you might want to target your your application or try to get a job offer as a nursing assistant. Now, nursing assistants get paid more than healthcare workers, so even for nursing assistants, the lowest pay scale for the band 3 qualifies for the skilled worker visa. So I think it's definitely something worth exploring. Now, I've got another question here asking, does it mean the proposal to increase the ILR to 10 years won't work again? Now, based on the last information on gov.uk, they currently going through some consultation phase at the moment. There's a lot of research, a lot of study being carried on at the moment to see if it's something that kind of makes sense for the government to venture into or basically implement. So, but there hasn't been any conclusive decision or any decision made in that regard yet. So at the moment, I mean, getting ILR, you still need to work for 5 years to get ILR, but that's probably, we're going to get updates based on what's going to go towards the end of this year. So I believe by the end of this year, we'll get to know whether they're planning to increase it to 10 years or they're not increasing it at all, or even if they want to increase, how long are they going to increase, the requirement for you to apply for your indefinite leave to remain. Now, this other comment I had, on one of my previous videos saying, I believe for anyone within 4 years of graduating from university, you qualify under the new entrance salary threshold of 33,400. Now, please, I need to say this over and over again, and you might want to go on gov.uk to confirm. For you to leverage on the new entrance rule, you must have graduated from any university in the last 2 years. That's what the policy says. In the last 2 years, that's when you can leverage on the new entrance rule, not after 4 years of graduating. That's absolutely false, if that makes sense. Okay, so just please put that in mind. And if you want to confirm, I can put a link in the description of this video where you can read more about the new entrance rule that says that it's either you're below 26, you're a recent graduate, you've got a PhD in STEM. Those are the people who are, can leverage on the new entrant rule. So yeah, that's a lot of concerns being raised, and a lot of challenges being faced by people who are looking for a job, especially for those who are currently on the student visa and the post-study work visa. The possibility of being able to get a visa sponsorship job before their current visa expires. How many employers are getting more reluctant to provide sponsorship because of the new rule. I've had people who have been promised visas, COS, and when the new policy was announced on the 1st of July 2025, those organizations retracted their decision and said, oh, because of this new requirement, we won't be able to afford to sponsor you. It's a major challenge. However, like I used to say, regardless of the tight immigration policies in the UK, there are always exemptions. There are always things that you need to look out for in the policy that you can use to your advantage. Okay, so if you have any question, any issue, any concerns, say this concern in the comment section. However, if you can't stay them in the comment section and you want us to jump on a one-to-one session, there's a link in the description of this video. Click on the link and we can jump on a call so we can have conversations about what you're struggling with, what the challenge is, and how we can help. And if it's something that we can help, we can always refer you to an immigration lawyer that can help you, that can help in the legal standpoint. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, stay in the comment section. And if you're coming across this channel for the first time, do what to hit on the subscribe button to join the amazing great family. And to my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.